We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs. It's October, and you know what that means. It's Mets season. Let's go. Let's go, Mets, baby. Yeah, the Mets. It's all
Woo-hoo!
about the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
Is that Grimace talking?
That's Wario. Um, yeah. Well, Cactus Wrestling presents rankings for the 24-25 season. Thanks for bearing with us for that intro. Just excited about the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
Yeah, Gregler
We have
is ecstatic.
our 125-pound preseason rankings here for you. We did this last year. And the thing with rankings is that they're crazy. Flow, Intermat, WrestleStat to some extent, they all have rankings. And we said, starting last year, we started with this. And we said, let's do Cactus Wrestling. So let's do a preseason, let's do a midseason, and then towards the postseason as well. So 125 pounds. Now we're doing top 12 because these are, prestigious. It means it holds a lot of weight to be on this
Prestigious.
Cactus Wrestling um, list. And then four honorable mentions to make it 16 total. So you want to be top 12, obviously. Well, you really want to be top 8. You want to be number 1, but only one person can be number 1. So without further ado, let's see who is on our list of rankings to start the season.
Yes, yes, yes.
Bam. There we go. So, no surprises. Number 1, we have a returning national champion, Richie Figaroa, which, last year when we did this, we also had him as number 1.
We did. Yeah, we knew.
We knew. And that was before he was really anything.
That's true. Yeah. Which is why if Mike were here, he would be saying that we have it wrong already.
It's true.
And that someone else should be in the number one spot that we have a little bit lower. Uh, but still, it's hard to go and pick someone else as before the season. You're going to pick a different national title or someone over the returning national champ that there is no one else that is of that caliber, like that has that accolade. So
Well, some would argue Luke Lildahl does have that.
he does have that accolade already, despite not having wrestled an NCAA match. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's wrestled against high caliber talent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I can just feel Mike oozing right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these are our rankings. I think we had Meyer Shapiro as number 2 or 3 last year as a freshman.
I mean, that
So
was pretty good because he finished third.
yeah, yeah. So I think we know what we're talking about here. The reason that I have him as number 5 is that I think that Penn State still, for whatever reason it has been in the past, they have not been able to All-American at 125. It's the curse of Nick
Megaludus.
Suriano.
Suriano. Yeah, the Suriano curse. Megaludus was the last one to do it.
And reminder to all the fans out there that this weight class saw, I don't know, close to 10 number ones throughout the season last year. Off
Yeah.
the top of my head, Matt Ramos was number 1 at one point. Figueroa, Noto, Jacob
Provo.
Camacho, Provo. Like this weight was constantly flipping and
Ramos. Yeah,
flopping.
yeah. I mean, yeah, no, yeah, it was, yeah.
So this is by no Drake Ayala, he's no longer at the weight. He's going up to 133 pounds this year. So this is the rankings without even having an Iowa guy on there. And we'll see who Iowa puts out in their starting lineup. Hard to
Ooh.
imagine that they won't have someone at least national qualifier level.
Right, yeah. I mean, they got Ayala's brother that we were projecting was likely going to be the guy, but
So we have Anthony Noto 2. He's a senior. He's taken 4th and 3rd the past 2 seasons. So maybe he takes 2nd this year.
and he's not going to have, a loss at the NWCA All-Star Classic this year.
Ah,
So
dress.
he's got that going for him.
Caleb Smith, I have as number three. He took six last year, finally All-Americans. I was actually surprised that he has another year left.
Yeah,
He had
yeah. I wasn't.
12 losses last year, but
I mean,
I
he put
mean of
together a decent NCAA tournament.
yeah, I mean of the returning All-Americans, there are three, four, there's five returning All-Americans at this weight. Um, he is the third highest returning. So kind of give him a bump there. Matt Ramos, number four, although I feel like this guy could beat anyone. I
Well,
wouldn't be
he's like a.
surprised if he won it all last year.
I mean, he's a boomer buster. It seems like. I mean, he had that miracle season with the win over Spencer Lee, but then last year he was all over the place, like no consistency.
Yeah, but so was everyone else. There was no one
Oh, that's true.
dominant throughout the year. The only one who was dominant, I would say, maybe was Drake Ayala, or maybe you could even say Braden Davis.
Oh, because Braden Davis only lost well, he lost twice at NCAAs, but he only lost one match before that.
Right. So everyone was beating everyone at this weight. That just shows the
Yeah.
depth pool at 125. And I suspect I don't think there's anyone leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else at this weight class.
You don't think Richie Figs is leaps and bounds?
No, I mean like even his wins last year, they were very close, 1 point matches. He's a slick wrestler for sure. And that's I mean, I'm happy to put him back at number one, but
I mean, yeah, at NCAAs, he had a 2-1 win over Unger, a 3-2 win over or not Unger. I'm backwards. 3-2
Davis.
win over Davis, 16-5, high scoring over McKee, 13-2 over Bergink, 4-3 over Noto, 7-2 in the finals over Ayala. So,
Mm,
I mean, he knows how to put up points sometimes.
sometimes. Um Jory
So,
Volk and Tanner Jordan, we have a 6 and 7. They have squared up. We talked about this in our All-Star Classic matchup because they will be squaring up against each other. Jory Volk has the advantage in that series, 3 matches to 1, but I think I think Jory just has his number. I don't think Tanner Jordan's gonna win that All-Star Classic match.
no, I don't think we already just talked about that. I don't think so either. I mean, it was 4-0 the last time they wrestled. So like and even the one time that Jordan beat him, he scored like a point. Most of these times he's been shut out or like so he can't seem to figure out how to score against them. And it's kind of I mean, if you look at our rankings already, it's kind of disappointing that no one higher than Tanner Jordan, Jory Volk is going to be in the All-Star Classic.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, based on Intermat and Flow rankings, which by the way, I mean, are you kidding me? Like
one,
one, two,
one,
three,
two,
four,
two.
five, six, seven, 8 are exactly the same.
Well, they just
Nine,
copied and
10.
pasted.
What? Have an original thought, guys. Like, what is going on?
I have an original thought. Yeah,
Anyway, um,
I digress.
didn't really talk about Luke Blue at all. I mean, wasn't he wasn't he your pick to win it all? The way too early? Or no, that was Mike, right?
I think that no, that was definitely Mike. I wouldn't have picked
But
Lil at all.
you
Van
picked the other Penn
Ness.
State guy, yeah.
I picked Van Ness for 49.
Right. Okay. No, Mike Long thinks Luke Lilladall will win it all, which hey,
I mean,
he very well may. Who
he thought
knows?
the same thing about Mesenbrink.
The only reason I'm putting I and I'm respecting the fact that he's very talented and high potential going in,
I mean,
but
all those U20 medals and
a
whatnot.
curse is a curse, you know? And
It's not called a curse for nothing.
I should have put him at 9. I should have been at 9, right at round of 12 tier, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've
Whoops.
also learned not to bet against Penn State. So
I mean, I feel like without having wrestled an NCAA match, him already being at 5 is pretty. There's a lot of respect on him.
Yeah, I mean, we did have Meyer Shapiro, I think, at 2 last year without wrestling an NCAA match. So,
Yeah, yeah. And early on that season, he definitely scared us to the point where we were like, oh, well, maybe we really messed that one up.
yeah. Anyway, Troy Spratley is someone who I think is destined to All-American this year. Oklahoma State, David Taylor taking over. All the Cowboys are going to be the
I
talk of the
mean,
town this year.
yeah, I would have thought like I thought he was for sure gonna All American last year. I mean, he had the overtime match with the Ayala. Um, like that it that I mean that could be the difference between him being national finalist that he won that match. Um, but he's right there. So I definitely think him being an All American is likely.
He has losses to Jory Volk, Tanner Jordan, Drake Ayala, who's gone,
Well, yeah, Tanner
Brandon
Jordan was the round of 12
Kaler.
match. That was the All American match.
Yeah, he lost to Jory Volk multiple times. Caleb Smith, Tanner Jordan multiple times actually. So all the guys that above him have beat him or not, they haven't wrestled. So that I mean that's a good omen. He hasn't lost to anyone below in this ranking. So
Right, yeah. So now he just needs to climb, and hopefully DT is going to help him get there.
yep, round of 12 last year. Steve O'Pullen is number 9. Uh, two-time round of 12. That sucks. I'll never forget Mickey Philippi. I think he was either a 4-time or 5-time round of
Yeah,
12.
round of
Never
12, yeah,
All-Americans.
for Pitt.
Brutal.
And he most of the time he would have like an almost undefeated record too. He'd be like 17-1, 22-2. Like he was like, this guy's good. He definitely is going to All-American, and then never could put it together.
Yeah, I mean, same thing here with Steve-O. I mean, he's got some losses, some weird losses to Jet Strickenberger, Kyson Terrakina, Eli Griffin, um,
Mm.
Strickenberger
But
again.
but now he has Alirez back in the lineup.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that he wasn't like training with Alirez already, but
Yeah. I mean, this guy's so talented ever since his Mohawk days. Round of 12 guy, both
I mean, ever
years.
since he left NC State.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I think he'll be again, right in that realm. Could he All-American? Absolutely. I don't think he's like high All-American, maybe like a fifth through eighth, but I think he could get
Mm,
there.
yeah.
Dean Peterson, number 10. Round of 12 2 years ago. Had a tough tournament last year. Um,
That's
15
another
and
guy that I thought
9.
was gonna All American. Um, like I was pretty confident. I remember going into the tournament that he was gonna, and then he just, I mean, he lost to Brett Unger in the opening round in tiebreakers, and then Stanek, uh, after beating Lujan. Like, uh, I mean, we know he's capable because he's got wins over guys that have All American. So I mean, maybe this is his year.
Yeah, could be. And you mentioned Luke Stanek. For those wondering, Luke Stanek, we have projected to redshirt this year. So Sheldon
Yes,
Seymour
yes.
will be the Lehigh starter as we see it. Maybe we are misinformed in that
But
capacity, but
we also are not thinking Sheldon Seymour is going to be.
I don't know. Lehigh does it right.
Yeah, but we're also not projecting him to be in the preseason top
Right.
tier rankings here.
Right, right,
So,
right, right.
yes, yes.
Next up, Greg Diakomahalis. This one might surprise some people. He's never started, but he's a Cornell guy. He's Yanni's younger brother. He's put in his dues. He's been behind Brett Unger. If you look at his track record, you might be like, well, yeah, why would he be high? Well, funny enough, I mean, like, look at everyone else's rankings. They have 15, 13, 8. We have him at 11 here. So, round of 12 guy. Um, if we pull up,
I mean, yeah, he's got some decent wins. And the guys that have beaten him, it's not like he losing to complete slouches.
s- so yeah, he beat
Like last
Diego
season.
Sotelo of Harvard, Vinnie Kilkiri, Kyson Tirakina.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
Tristan Lujan and Ryan Miller both have been NCAA qualifiers, and then Brett Unger also his teammate. He lost to 2-1. So those are his all of his losses from last season.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean Kilkiri overtime win. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. So I think I mean Cornell's always in the mix. They've top two team the past two seasons. Um
I don't think they are capable of doing that a third time.
yeah, but you said that last year.
I did, but they lost Vito. They lost Cardenas.
Come on, what will Kevin think?
Yeah, right. Foca is a shell of himself. Like,
Yeah, but they
I
got Meyer Shapiro who will probably win it. All you need is one champion to carry you so far.
okay, well, okay. If they have Meyer, that replaces Vito, but they need someone to take third to replace Meyer.
Yeah, so that could
I don't
be
think it's Greg.
maybe Julian Ramirez.
Julian Ramirez finally out of nowhere decides to be consistent.
Well, be on the lookout for our Cornell team preview. Um, we'll try and get that out before the start of the season. But yeah, Greg, I think round of 12 is especially since Ivy League is this is their own conference this year, so it's
Oh,
six
that is true.
schools,
That
so it's like the ACCs where it's almost a shoe-in to qualify. It's not as big of a gauntlet as the EIWA, so could be favorable for these Ivy League schools.
yeah, maybe. Well, definitely. I mean, well, it's going to be very favorable for Cornell. They're probably going to send more guys, which actually, now that I think of it, will make it easier to take second if they have more guys going because it's easier to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Vinnie Kilkiri is number 12 now. I know what you're saying. There's no guarantee that he's going to be the starter. Brendan
true.
McCrone is in the rankings right now for most teams. Russell has Kilkiri at number 30. But I don't know. I think Kilkiri will get the starting spot. From what I
In
gather,
our Ohio State preview, we were previewing Kilkiri over McCrone.
yeah. Yeah, these two, I forget what happened in the wrestle-offs last year if they squared off, but Kilkiri famously got hosed against Braden Davis in the dual meet against Penn State, where he won the match, but the ref stole it. So
Not bitter at all about that.
Ohio State usually does well at the lighter weights. Macron was decent for them last year. Um, I don't think he's a high end potential
I
guy,
mean,
whereas I think
did
Kilcarry could be.
McCrone even win a match at Big Ten? Or like, I feel like he lost like three matches and still
He went
qualified.
0 and 2.
And
Well, no, they had like
the extra,
the extra matches.
yeah,
Yeah.
he won one match
He
there.
won
Like,
one match. Yeah. And then he
yeah.
won match he majored Noah Certain for what it's worth.
Oh,
But
no,
he lost
certain
to
so all
Ramos
over
and
the
Nico
place.
Provo. So
Yeah.
speaking of Nico Provo, he is in our honorable mentions. Connecticut strong, baby. Stanford is going to be in the ACC, so that will make the ACC actually a lot more competitive.
Yeah, well, now
Um,
it's what, seven schools? No, eight schools. Eight.
8.
Yeah, up to eight.
Who's the eighth?
Stanford, right?
There were 6 before.
Oh, then seven. Yeah, okay.
7. You would think that they would add an eighth just to even it out, make every
Well,
bracket,
they
like a
just
quarterfinals. But
added the seven. Wait, Virginia, Virginia Tech, NC State, UNC, um,
Pitt,
Pitt, and
Duke,
Duke, and then now Stanford.
Stanford. Yeah.
Yeah.
Provo again. I mean, we've mentioned him round of 16 last year, not national qualifier before. I think he's got high upside. Really athletic wrestler. He was as high as number 1 last year. I think that was a little premature, but I could see
I mean, I
himself
feel like a
maybe.
lot of the number ones last year were a little premature. It was like the number one got beat, and whoever beat him became the number one.
Yeah, because there's no like solid returners, really.
Yeah, so when Richie Figs loses a match during the year, he's gonna drop, and the guy's gonna skyrocket.
Hmm. Diego Sotelo, fun wrestler from Harvard, again in the Ivy League. Round of 16 last year in a national qualifier before. Cooper Flynn, interesting here. Pulled his Olympic red shirt last year for Virginia Tech.
In dramatic fashion.
Transferred to Minnesota this year. So this will be his first year under Minnesota. Now, Minnesota is known for their lighter weights with the Ness brothers and Zach Sanders.
Yeah.
So he could definitely see some. I mean, Pat McKee has been great for them for the past few years as well. So we could see Cooper Flynn
Well,
very
even
well.
Nagao was good for them, not at 25, but still, Nagao was great for them.
Yeah, yeah. And the rankings reflect it. I think everyone's seeing some high upside for Cooper Flynn. He had a tough NCAAs last year, so that's why we have an honorable mention, but I think he could definitely get a little bit higher as the season progresses.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see the Big Ten schedule compared to Virginia Tech's schedule. Um, I mean, yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. I mean, Cooper Flynn
That's
did have an
true.
11 seed last year at the NCAA tournament, but he only won one match, so
And last but not least, Jacob Camacho,
the guy that's
another Connecticut native,
yeah,
Danbury.
he's on his
Listen,
eighth season.
if he has seventh season, if he hasn't
Seventh
done it
season.
by now, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean I'm rooting for him, I guess, but
I
885,
guess.
like on what merit? Are you crazy?
Yeah, I don't know what they.
What has he ever done at nationals? Underperform. NC State consistently underperforms at nationals time and
Yeah,
time again.
yeah,
He's on his seventh year, and this isn't like the old days where, oh, if you're sticking around, then you're gonna have an advantage being a senior against freshmen. No, these
no,
freshmen will kick your ass. Like, I mean,
yeah,
these
yeah.
freshmen are
The
unbelievable.
freshmen have the advantage. They're old.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
You know,
I don't understand those other rankings, like how they have him so high, based off of what?
that
It's not
Matt
even like
Ramos
last
win.
year when he beat Pat Glory in freestyle. Like maybe they were using that as a metric, but he didn't do that this year. He didn't beat a recent national champ in freestyle.
Well, no, I mean he beat Matt Ramos though, who didn't end up All-Americaning. So
That makes that even less impressive. Like,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know what Internet and Flo and WrestleStat are thinking on that one. I feel like that's a bit high until he gets some quality wins underneath his belt. Like, I don't know how you could put him. Is it top eight guy? Jeez. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking his biggest quality win last year. I mean, he did beat Cooper Flynn. He beat Brett Unger.
okay, he
He
beat
beat
guys that were
he beat
also
Cooper
not
Flynn
NCAA.
twice, but
Cooper Flynn won one match at NCAA.
and Matt Ramos. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those were his biggest wins. The Matt Ramos one, but again, he was around at 12. So,
Actually, I'm surprised that Ramos is ranked as highly as he is across the board. When you like, there's Tanner Jordan, Jory Volk returning All Americans. Ramos is ahead of both. Like,
no, not both of them. Volk is pretty high up there.
oh yeah, that's right. People are pretty high on Volk.
Yeah.
That's the
So
Pride of Wyoming.
let us know what your thoughts are on our preseason rankings for the 24-25 season, 125 pounds. Drop a comment down below. Who do you think should be the top contenders for the weight class? Who do you think are going to All-American? And what do you think of the likes of Luke Liddell or Vinnie Kiley, or are there any other freshmen or people coming out of redshirt that should be on our radar. We'd love to hear your input. Drop it all in the comments down below. And thanks again for watching Cactus Wrestling.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.